All right, what's up, y'all? So, I wanted to have this conversation because I've been talking to one of my female friends, and we button heads on something. So, she was telling me, how bad or negative her ex was, and when I started digging deeper, I started to discover some things that started to bother me. So the first thing that I identified is that the man pays for everything. He's responsible for the bills, everything. He buys the groceries, the bills. Now, she pays for her own car note. But he pays for, everything else. So he put her in a position to where all she has to pay, she just has to take care of her wants. Now, for me, I feel like I've never been able to do that for a woman. So, to me, how ungrateful that, I see her being to that is kind of like, it kind of throws you off a little bit, because it's like, I can't imagine. I feel bad for dude. I know he's probably not perfect, but it's like, I can't imagine if I was paying all of the bills for a woman, all of the bills. She had to pay nothing of substance, nothing. Now, don't get me wrong, I've done this before, but not for the duration. So, and then she was complaining that, he doesn't help me with any of. She was saying, he doesn't help me with any of the domestic stuff. And I asked her, do you pay any of the bills in the house? And she said no. So I said, wait. So I said, you actually want him to do and be responsible for 100% of, you want him to be responsible for 100% of the finances, but share 50% of the domestic duties. And she said yes. And she kept saying yes, and she didn't get what I was trying to show her. And she was just like, well, yeah, he needs to do more. And I was like, wait. Well, why? I could see if they were splitting the bills, if they were going 50-50 on the bills, then that would make sense. If they were going 50-50 on the bills, and then she said, we're splitting the bills and I'm doing all of the domestic work, I would understand that. But she told me that her boyfriend was paying for all of the expenses, 3-bedroom house and all of the food, all of the things that the kids need. And she said, well, I still need him to come home and do more. And then she was also complaining that he was working 60 hours a week. So I was so confused. And then that's what got me back to this topic where I don't understand this notion of 50-50. So now I'm more likely to ask questions. So when women say things like they want to go 50-50, are they only talking about domestic duties? When they say 50-50, does that mean that we split the expenses 50-50 down the middle? Or are we only talking about that men should do 50% of domestic work? Because as I'm getting older and I'm starting to understand that even feminists, like my friend that calls herself a feminist, is in a relationship where the man pays for everything. And then now that they're broke up, I told her, I said, well, why do you expect money from him? And she said, well, I earned it. We've been together so long. But I was like, wait. I said, so wait, you don't believe in marriage, but you want him to pay you alimony even though you weren't married? And then I was like, then you're telling me you're a feminist and you're independent, but the first thing you want to do when you're in, but you've been dependent on men your whole life, and then now you still want the man that you broke up with to be responsible for you. It doesn't make sense as a man. It doesn't make sense. And then the crazy part is, right, the same women that expect men to still take care of 100% of finances and share duties, those are the same women that say that a stay-at-home mom or a housewife is a subjugation, is slavery. That doesn't make sense. A housewife had 100% responsibility of domestic duties, but she also had 100% authority over the household. You know, she had what? So if a stay-at-home mom in the 60s got all of her bills paid for and she had to do 100% of her duties, of the house duties, then what say you of a woman that is only responsible for 50% of house duties and 0% of finances? I mean, that's essentially like, that's worse than the chauvinist. At least the chauvinist provided 100% of his finances to the household. I mean, a modern woman doesn't even do 100% of the domestic work. She wants the man to do 50% of the domestic work and still have the traditional role. It's like we have to be more than an average man. Imagine that. They actually want us men to be in a position where we take care of all of the bills, which is fine. We have no problem doing that. But then come home and do half of the domestic work. That's crazy. And the same women that want a men to go 50-50, you know, these aren't women these aren't women that take the man out. These aren't women that initiate, you know, physical encounters with their... It's like men in America are just seen as we're just like work slaves. We're just like worker bees, and we're treated as if our only purpose in life is to make women happy and make women feel safe. Like, that's our only purpose. Like, we don't have the autonomy to decide what manhood is. We don't have the authority to decide what we want from women. We don't really have any social freedom. You know, we have religious freedoms and we can work what we want, but socially America is not free. You can't say what you want in America without social repercussions or social cancellation. And the fact that, you know, this version of equality somehow is empowering. It's empowering in the United States for a woman to expect a man to do 50% of house duties, 100% of financial duties, and be happy. It's crazy. Hold on, let me look at some of these comments. Yeah, that's definitely 50-50 in America in regards to relationships. It doesn't mean that, you know, you guys are going to be 50% responsible for, you're not going to be 50% responsible for bills. All that America is obsessed with is that men do 50% of domestic work. And it's not realistic. You know, it's really not realistic. Let me see. I don't know what's going on. Got the truck. Okay. So, let me see. I want 200%. I have patience for the slow itch. Feminism is sorry, my glasses. Goodness. Having the choice. Yes, exactly. Feminism is supposed to be the choice in a woman picking her own path. Whether that means that she wants to be a housewife, a career woman, a nun, you know, an acrobat. That's what feminism was supposed to be about. Now feminism basically is about... Feminism has pretty much turned to misandry. Feminism is misandry. It's not about empowerment. It's just about opposing any religious tradition, and it's about opposing any standard, or, you know, it's about opposing any standard that a man, or desire that a man wants. That's all feminism is about. Feminism is about misandry. It's about being anti-Christ, being anti-God. It's about being anti-religious. It's about being anti-standard. It's just chaos. Feminism has become chaos. It once was about giving the woman the right to choose, giving the woman the right to equal opportunity, to have options to do do things, not just that quote unquote men did, but to do things that women felt was right on their own behalf. But again, these are things that has changed. And again, now feminism is about misandry. It's about, oh, well, if men want traditional women, well, we're not going to be traditional. Feminism at this point is just about empowering the opposition of religion and traditional masculinity. That's it. Nothing else. And, once they chew women up and spit them out the same way that they did, because this is the algorithm. This is the algorithm. The same algorithm that allowed, Jim Crow to happen, that allowed the algorithm that told white people it was okay to be racist is the same algorithm that's telling women it's okay to hate men. It's the same algorithm. America never changes. It just the target changes. The oppressor and the oppressed changes. But it's the same aristocrats, but the different players of it changes. This is why we gotta make sense of this. We gotta stop letting society lead with emotionality, and we gotta be more clever in how we conquer, this irrationality. Because, like I said, I started with my friend. I'm telling my friend she's breaking up with her dude, and when I come to talk to her, I realize that he's actually not a bad guy. She's just comfortable. She's just got so used to the things that he's doing for her that she doesn't value them anymore. So, she doesn't value them anymore. And then now what I'm trying to tell her is like, look, hey, the guy, you have a man that's paying for all your bills and, he loves you. Maybe he doesn't show it the way that he should, and that's no excuse. But at the same time, I'm damn near trying to beg my friend to get her to understand. A man that's paying for everything, men don't pay for things we're not invested in and things that we don't care about. And I'm telling her the fact that he's willing to pay for everything, even though they're not getting along, it's a big deal. She's like, well, I want my emotional needs met. And this is the part where I have to tell women that you can't have it all. Because a man, that can meet your emotional needs is probably not a man that can satisfy your financial needs. And a man that can satisfy your financial needs, he's probably working so hard that he doesn't have the time and patience to meet your emotional needs. And that's the problem with women wanting everything, because a man can't be everything. I can't be sensitive and listen to you and tippy toe and talk to you like a therapist, and then get out there and bust my ass and work 60 hours and take life's bullshit and then earn. Those are two different personality traits. Women want men to listen with the emotionality of a woman. They want us to be soft while at the same time being strong enough to go sacrifice and work hard. Those are two different personality traits, and that's ultimately the issue in society, is that women can articulate what they want. They could say it in the list, but they don't understand that, you want a man that leads, that's willing to die for you. A man that's willing to die in a split second of a moment, that's not a man that's going to listen. That's going to sit down and be patient. Because do you understand the cojones? Do you understand that the mindset of a motherfucker willing to die right now is a person that has got their mind made up about some shit? Stop asking for a person that has their mind made up to be rational and emotional and gentle. And then stop getting mad that men that are gentle and not confrontational and not warriors, which is okay. Every man is not a warrior and a soldier. But don't chastise that man that's not a warrior and a soldier because he's not, because he's not that. Like women have to understand what they want and understand the ramifications of that. And then women have to ask themselves, just because I want that, do I qualify? Just because I want a Bentley? Do I qualify for a Bentley? Does my credit earn the Bentley? Do I have the income? Do I have the knowledge? Like, just because I want something, what if I want $1 million job? Just because I want it and articulate it, does that mean I am entitled to it? No, I have to know what the job is required. I have to know, do I meet the qualifications of that job? That's what's so crazy about life and about America. America is crazy to me because the same women that have PhDs, that have master's degree, they understand that to get a degree, they have to meet a certain criteria. They understand that once they get that degree that they met certain criteria with, to get a job with that degree, they also have to qualify and meet certain criteria. Figure out the resume and figure out what that job desires. Figure out the job role. Now, do you think because these intelligent women have went through all of that for careers that they would take that same approach to men and go, hey, you know what? Because men are valuable, let me see what these good men want. Let me see what are the qualifications. Let me see what type of women qualify. No. The job, they'll do a cartwheel, do a backflip, spend 50 years figuring out whatever the job wants of them. The man to just accept me the way I am. He should just be lucky to be in my presence. It's backwards. That's why I have a friend that thinks it's okay that her man pays 100% of the finances and is angry at him because he doesn't do 50% of the domestic duties. Now, when I brought it to her attention, I said, so would it be fair? Would it be fair if he did 50% of the domestic duties and you did the 50% of the domestic duties and 100% of the finances? Oh, did she look at me so crazy? I said, okay, well, what if he did 50% of the finances and you did the other 50% and 100% of the domestic duty? She didn't think that was fair. And I was trying to get her to understand that she was not being fair. Nothing I could say could get her to understand that what she was expecting of him was not fair. What she was expecting him to do 100% of the finances and still come home and do half of the house duties when none of her money went to any bills. Her money went where exactly she could spend her money wherever she wanted, no problem. And I didn't think that was fair.